Hey folks, this is Kalani. Patch 1107 has been unveiled and there's a lot of content waiting for us on the Siren Isle. This is a brand new zone with all kinds of gameplay options, including getting your hands on a free item level 639 ring, which has some crazy powerful effects attached to it. We'll see the addition of cross-faction random queues, various updates to holiday events, some popular events will be making a comeback, and we even know when the patch should go live. There's a lot coming in patch 11.0.7, so let's go over the 12 new features coming our way. Now before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. To start with, the new patch will be introducing a whole new zone, the Siren Isle. It's kinda small when compared to some other zones we've seen in the past, like the Forbidden Reach in Dragonflight's 0.0.7 patch, but when you consider that that zone was used as a starter area as well, it's not too surprising that a brand new, never-before-seen zone is a bit smaller for a 0.7 patch. Despite its size, it looks like we're going to have a lot to keep us busy on the Siren Isle. The main gameplay loop seems to revolve around a new weekly quest, which is a standard fill up the bar kind of quest, so you can take part in pretty much any part of the new zone to contribute to this, and you'll earn some shiny rewards including some very special gems. More about these in just a moment. You'll be able to pick up several weekly quests that reward you with Valor Stones, crests, celebration tokens, and a new currency, Flame Blessed Iron. All of the new content will be rewarding this brand new currency, and oh how we love new currencies. You can buy various goodies with this Flame Blessed Iron, and it's also used for another feature on the Isle. There are 3 major excavations that you can contribute to, one for the Earthen, one for the Goblins, and one for the Arathi. You'll be able to pick up some boxes of goodies as well as more of those special gems if you get these done, so these will definitely be worth filling up and taking part in. You can also buy some catch-up gear. This is currently item level 584 veteran gear, so you've got some good upgrade potential here as well, but 584 isn't going to give you any big upgrades if you've been gearing up for the entire season so far. It's a great way to gear up alts or any characters left behind, or maybe for returning players who took a break since the start of the expansion, so good catch-up gear, but that's about it. There are plenty of rares to kill scattered around the island as well, which will help you get that contribution bar up and give you some more chances to get currency and loot. When you finish the weekly quest, you'll unlock the special assignment world quest as well as the Tempest feature. You can toggle the Tempests on or off whenever you want, so you get to decide when you want to take on that extra challenge, but basically during Tempest mode a whole bunch of monsters swarm the area. You'll also have access to various tools and vehicles to help kill things quicker, and you can also get some cool rewards for your efforts. This seems to be yet another source of catch-up gear too, so this could be a great way to help gear up your alts. But the main new feature is a curious ring, Circe's Circlet. You'll pick this up as part of the introduction questline, so everyone will get their hands on this very early on in the patch. If you played during Dragonflight, this will probably look very familiar. The ring has 3 special sockets, and you can place new powerful gems into them. There is a Thunder socket, a Wind socket, and a Sea socket, and only matching gems will work. So you're going to have to pick one gem from each pool of gems. The effects you can unlock with these gems vary quite a bit. There are simple damage effects and healing effects to give you an extra boost. You can increase your secondary stats. You can trigger your party members' gems, which is kind of interesting. You can provide shields and various other bonuses. Nothing super duper special in here just yet, but I'm sure the ring will be a pretty large power spike no matter what. There are currently 12 gems on the PTR, so you'll have 4 options for each gem slot. Curiously, it looks like we might not be relying on an RNG farm for these gems this time. The current weekly quest rewards one of the gems, and the excavations also reward 2 others, so we may end up with fixed sources for these gems, and if they are tied to weekly quests and content, they could release a couple of gems at a time. That would mean that everyone should get the same gems at the same time, which is a very different method of acquisition when compared to the Onyx Amulet back in Dragonflight. But what do you think? Would you prefer an RNG farming method you could do at your own pace, or getting the gems from guaranteed sources even if that meant they were time gated? Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Now we'll also be able to upgrade the ring. It starts at item level 619 and it looks like we'll have a new quest each week that gives us an item level bump. There are 6 upgrades that we know of so far, which brings the ring up to item level 639, and everyone can very easily complete these quests and get their hands on the ring. So it's basically a free item level 639 ring with powerful effects. You can also unlock new powers and abilities to use on the Siren Isles. So far on the PTR we've seen the ability to find hidden treasure chests. There's an unlock that lets you walk on the sea floor, find treasure, breathe underwater and swim much faster, so we'll be able to find some extra goodies out in the water as well. There are various power increases like your ring triggering every available gem effect over 3 seconds, and you'll unlock new gameplay options on the isle as well. The last power that you unlock is the ability to fly freely on the isle, so the restriction there is temporary. We'll be able to fly after several weeks of power unlocks. As a fun little bonus, you can actually see this ring on your player model when you equip it as well, which makes me very excited for the future. We may get some more special rings with cool models later on down the line, or we may see other items get unique visuals as well. So we'll have a new zone to explore and a free powerful ring to help get those end of season milestones squared away, but this patch has a whole bunch of other content to keep things interesting. We're going to see some new story quests. One of them will deal with the aftermath of Dalaran's destruction and follow the Kirin Tor as they try to figure out what to do next. And the other questline isn't available for testing as far as I know, but it's going to be a prelog for 11.1. The splash screen for 1107 gives us a hint at who we might be interacting with as we start working towards the next chapter of the War Within coming in 11.1. The top left shows the Haranar leader, Orwena, and it says that we'll continue the story and discover an old familiar face in the darkness, so we may explore more of the old god influence beneath Kaz Algar or something else that this new race are having to deal with. I'm very interested to see where we go next. Are there things underneath Azj-Kahet, down deeper in the darkness that need dealing with, or will we travel to a completely different island for the next patch? Only time will tell. The Turbulent Timeways event will start up again too, which basically just means time walking is always active for the duration of the patch. The event rotates between each time walking expansion and the rewards are increased in the previous rounds as well, allowing you to get heroic raid gear from time walking weekly quests. Time walking dungeons are also great for leveling any alts you may have left behind, so easy leveling, easy high item level gear rewards, and you'll be able to farm up a lot of time warped badges if that's something you still need to do. Another event returning during this patch is Plunderstorm. This game mode is totally different. It's like a battle royale style mode with more action oriented combat. It actually worked really well in my opinion. The combat felt so much better than standard WoW combat with fun cool abilities, and it was just super fun to play with guildies and friends. The event was a bit hit or miss though, mainly because it's basically only PvP, so if you really hate anything to do with PvP, it might not be for you. There are some changes this time though. There's going to be a practice mode if data mining is accurate, so you might be able to hop into a game by yourself to get a feel for how everything works before you have to take on players yourself. There are also new rewards coming in the Plunder store, so we'll have more mounts, transmog, pets, all of that good stuff, and this time, instead of grinding your way through a renowned track, it looks like we'll be using the plunder we collect in-game as a currency and just directly purchasing anything that we want from the event. That is going to make it so much easier to get the stuff that you want early on, instead of being forced to grind through the entire renowned track if what you want is towards the end. This also makes the plunder you earn from your matches way more important, which could change up what players focus on and how the matches progress. Plunderstorm will be arriving sometime early in the new year, so it won't release with the very start of the patch by the looks of things. Now, a very interesting change coming in 1107 is an adjustment to a whole bunch of racial abilities. It looks like the dev team are doing something of a tuning pass on racial abilities in general, and buffing up a lot of spells that don't see a lot of use. Things like Gift of the Naru for Draenei, a bunch of the Lightforged Draenei spells, the Nightborn, Void Elves, Vulpera and Zandalari Trolls are all included as well. So it's a pretty vast, sweeping balance pass for racial abilities, which will hopefully make these races a little bit more interesting, or at least make you remember that they actually have racial abilities moving forward. We're also going to see a lot of updates to holiday event rewards. So far in data mining, we've seen Love is in the Air themed armor and transmog, as well as 4 different Love Witch broom mounts. These all look really cute, and they're definitely a step up from the basic broom mount that we've had during Hallow's End. There are also new Lunar Festival armor sets and transmogs, new firework-themed cloak and back slot items, which are really cool, a new lunar launcher mount which looks fantastic, and a bunch of new weapon transmogs as well. So there are a lot of new things to look forward to when these holiday events next roll around. Now, these holiday updates could also point us towards a potential release date, or at the very least a release window for 1107. There are quite a few updates for the Winter Veil event included in this patch, so the patch would have to launch before that event starts up for the updates to be included in this year's event. To add more substance to that claim, the 1107 splash screen that pops up when you first log in has the holiday event updates included in it, and it specifically mentions Winter Veil first. It reads, "Check your calendars, Winter Veil, Turbulent Timeways, Plunderstorm, and more coming." So it's a pretty safe bet that 1107 will actually go live before the holidays kick off, meaning we'll have all new content to enjoy as we bring in the new year. Winter Veil starts up on December 17th this year, so the patch would have to go live before then. Now, if you need even more proof, several quests on the Siren Isle also reward Bronze Celebration tokens, which means the patch will release before the celebration event comes to an end in early January. We won't have any major updates over the actual Christmas holidays, we never do, so the only way for this patch to go live before the 20th anniversary event ends is for it to go live in December before the holidays start. They'll also probably want a week buffer at least, just in case things go horribly wrong. That would put the release date of 1107 in early to mid-December at the very latest, so we'll probably only have about 5 to 6 weeks to wait until this content makes it into our laps. Patch 1107 will also introduce cross-faction group queues, so you may know that we can already group up with members of the other faction and run various forms of content, but the catch so far has been that you have to actually manually enter that content. You aren't able to queue into anything as a cross-faction group, which made doing heroic dungeons at the start of the expansion a little annoying, but the new patch removes one more hurdle for cross-faction gameplay. You'll now be able to queue into things like random heroic dungeon queues with members of the opposite faction, but there is still one catch here. You need to have a full group, so you can't queue up as a group of 3. You do need a full group of 5 if you want to queue for a random dungeon. I guess they still don't want to force other people into a cross-faction situation. Personally, I don't think it really matters all that much anymore. I would much prefer to see everything cross-faction, partly so I can freely play whatever race I want on each character, but also because grouping up for content gets a little annoying when you have these pesky restrictions thrown in. But as I said, we are one step closer to those boundaries coming down for good. And to top it all off, we're also going to get 2 new meta achievements to work through. You Zal Not Pass is a general War Within expansion meta achievement that asks you to complete a whole bunch of other achievements related to the various factions of Kaz Algar. Completing this one rewards you with the Shadow of Doubt mount, a very cool looking shadowy elemental mount. There's also one for the Siren Isle specifically called I'll Remember You. These names are getting better and better. This one is all about the new activities coming in the patch and will reward you with the Breaker's Song mount, a new floating ship mount, so we'll have another one of those to collect. The patch is also going to add in a BFA meta achievement too. This one is called a Farewell to Arms. BFA didn't get one back in the day, but it's never too late to add them in retroactively, I guess. So if you fancy going back to BFA and completing some extra achievements, you'll be able to pick up Janny's Trash Pile mount, so a lot more achievements to keep you busy moving forward. Now, we were also supposed to get a Profession Knowledge respec feature, but this has since been delayed, so this won't be a part of 1107 anymore, but it is still important to know that this is in the pipeline and we should see it sometime soon. So we will eventually have the option to reset those specialization knowledge points, just in case you've got a few points you think went into the wrong place. But that's all of the new features and content coming our way in patch 1107, so that's it for this video. What are you most looking forward to from what you've seen so far, and how do you feel about the Onyx Amulet ring system being reused for this patch? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to all of our members here on YouTube. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you're interested in supporting the channel, you can find links in the description or click the join button just below the video. If you enjoyed the video or found it useful in any way, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you're always kept up to date. Thanks for watching, folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.